Okay guys, let's move to strategy 3, which is all to do with influencing people in the sales process, which is so important when it's done ethically, and how we can influence people with the power of listening. It's not really that clearly known or applied even by some of the best salespeople. You can actually influence people by listening carefully and active listening and using listening skills. So let's jump in and really look at this important topic. So effective communication really is the cornerstone of any interaction, okay? Now, of course, this applies to personal relationships, professional settings, but in sales, it's absolutely critical. So while speaking and expressing our thoughts play a vital role, listening with purpose and intent is equally important, if not more important. Now, unfortunately, many salespeople really struggle to truly listen to prospects due to a number of reasons, such as they are preoccupied, they're too focused on making the sale, they're tired, they're hungry, they have lack of focus, and that can work both ways in the conversation. But by honing our listening skills, we can harness the power of attention to influence people and acquire valuable information which we can use to close a sale. The ability to listen effectively offers a unique advantage in personal and professional relationships. By this thing we know of active listening, we honestly gain insights into the other's motivations, fears, desires, values, concerns, objections, and this information is key to all the important stuff in the sales process, such as building rapport, fostering cooperation, and achieving any desired outcome, especially the close and handling objections. So to become a more influential listener, it's essential to pay attention to a few key aspects. Okay, the first one is this. We need to uncover emotional triggers. Now, by keenly listening, we can identify what stirs negative emotions in others. Because in sales, we want to move people away from pain to pleasure. And by listening, we can uncover the emotional triggers. So, for example, what keeps someone up at night with anger, frustration, resentment? What is their pain? Understanding these triggers will help us to build massive empathy and understanding and being sensitive throughout the sales process. At the same time, it helps the salesperson to really avoid potential pitfalls, conflicts, making mistakes, saying the wrong thing, breaking someone else's values. Is so important. So just by actually active listening, we can uncover emotional triggers. The next one is discover the person's fears and worries. Now, it's along the same lines, but again, active listening enables us to grasp the fears and worries that occupies someone's mind. And knowing these concerns helps us to approach conversations and negotiations with a much deeper level of understanding. So you can find common ground, potential solutions, and address their worries and concerns about your product, service, and idea. The next thing is that you really identify core values. People's priorities and values differ massively. And understanding what matters most to someone can be a powerful tool for influence. Now, this can be around family, work, marriage, career development, wealth, security, What other factors that could hold great importance to that person, and therefore we can tailor our presentation, our messages, our proposals accordingly, appealing to their core values. You don't ever want to be out of sync. You want to be aligned with people's core values. It may seem challenging to uncover these insights, but people often, you'll be surprised, really just reveal them very willingly when provided with the right supportive environment, with the right level of you being positioned as an expert. And by encouraging open dialogue and using the power of active listening, we create a space where the prospect feels really super comfortable in sharing their thoughts and emotions. To enhance our listening skills and actively listen to others, I've got some action steps for you. These will really help you. So in the sales call, before the sales call, this will really help you. The first thing is this. It's really important as a sales professional, you clear your mind of all distractions, especially negative stuff. And if you're the type of salesperson that's call after call, you can, if you don't have the right mindset, the right resilience, you can have this negative build up, and that will transfer to your next call. So prior to any meeting or any conversation, eliminate all external distractions. That's the first thing, to really center your focus. And you need skills to remove all that negative stuff that happened in the previous call. Now, top telemarketing sort of trainers employ a technique where they set aside paperwork. So they literally put the paperwork to one side, take a deep breath, and mentally prepare themselves before answering the call or making the next call. And by simply starting afresh, moving the paperwork to one side, taking a deep breath, and then mentally preparing for the next, when you really hone in this skill, you can take the barrage of no in the telesales setting till you get to yeses. Step 2 is to recognize the other person's importance. It's so important as a salesperson, you acknowledge the significance of the other person there who you're engaging with, the prospect. Sell yourself on the reliance of the conversation, but the relevance of the value that they bring to that conversation. And by recognizing their importance, you naturally become more engaged and attentive. People will pay more attention to what you have to say because you've really brought into them a lot more. You recognize generally how important they are. You can do this by every sales meeting you have, go in there with the attitude of, I want to learn something new from everyone I meet. That is a fantastic attitude because that really does mean I see you as someone important. Next thing is you want to listen for information and insight. Actively listening to the other person's words, paying attention to the information they provide, looking for underlying meaning and unspoken concerns, unspoken objections, and opportunities for cooperation, opportunities to explore unspoken concerns. This will allow you to gather valuable insights, valuable intelligence that can guide you in your approach as you move down the sales conversation. Step 4 is be an active listener. Active listening doesn't just mean sitting there and listening. It means that you're demonstrating with non-verbal clues, such as nodding, providing feedback, taking notes at key points, asking relevant expert questions to show that you really are interested and encourage the person to share more. Active listening validates their thoughts, their emotions, and often really fosters openness. Step 5 is this, take notes, but if necessary. Okay, you only want to jot down key points or key observations or key statements they make as you listen, because this is really beneficial. Not only does it demonstrate that you're listening, it also helps you, of course, to remember important detail, but it shows your investment in the conversation. And yes, it's so powerful, but, and it's a big but, be mindful. Do not let note-taking distract you from maintaining eye contact and active engagement. It's far more important to nod and because that is the stuff that shows you're actively listening. But when something significant comes and you write it down, very powerful. Now, by implementing these steps, you can become a more influential listener, forging deeper connections with others and acquiring the information that you need to navigate really sometimes very complex sales situations or complex situations in life in general. Now remember, active listening is a skill and it has to be developed through practice. The school of Hard Knocks, or even the University of Hard Knocks. But by listening and investing in your listening abilities, you will really unlock the potential to really positively influence people and achieve greater outcomes in your sales process. I hope that makes sense, guys. We're going to move on to the next topic now, which will be carrying on this idea of influence people in the sales process.